Welcome to newwayne.com. This is free, but comprehensive video series on ACCA professional level paper, Advanced Performance Management. This video brings to you free of charge on our YouTube channel newwayne. Please subscribe and stay tuned for more videos. Our introduction video talked about syllabus structure. Under Part A, Strategic Planning and Control, there are 6 topics. This video is about Topic 1, Strategic Management Accounting. Leave a comment if you don't understand any of the topic area, we will be happy to help you out. Wish you happy learning with newwayne. Strategic Management Accounting. Strategic Management Accounting is a type of management accounting, which focuses on information internal to the organization, external to the organization, also non-financial information. Traditional management accounting only focus on information internal to the organization. The purpose of strategic management accounting is to provide information for strategic planning and control. Strategic management accounting should have to be supported by tactical information and operational information. Tactical information facilitate planning and control for shorter periods, example 1-year period. Operational information facilitate organizations' day-to-day decision making. You can see in this picture, when the levels go up by bottom to top, the area of control activities reduces and area of planning activities increases. And there are 3 levels: operational, tactical, and strategic. Under operational we are talking about day-to-day operational information. And under tactical level, we are talking about medium-term decision making. And under strategic level we concentrate about forward-looking, external, and non-financial information. Modern performance management can be described as part of strategic management accounting. Strategic management accounting is linked to information that is relevant to corporation's strategy, which is forward-looking, both internal and external environment, and non-financial and financial. Performance measurement is a vital part of the performance management. For an organization to be successful in achieving corporate objectives, it is required to maintain effective control mechanism, example budgets and proper information systems, and improve business processes through environmental management, transfer pricing, quality management, information systems and different reward systems. Benchmarking. Benchmarking is our second subtopic. Earlier we learned about strategic management accountant. Okay. Now we talk about this. Benchmarking is the practice of comparing business processes and performance metrics to industry bests and best practices from other companies. Dimensions typically measured are quality, time, and cost. Internal benchmarking is a process in which a company or an organization looks within its own business to try and determine the best practice or methodology for conducting a particular task. The aim is to find the best practice available to get the job done with minimum effort or resources. Competitive benchmarking is the process of comparing your company against a number of competitors, using a set collection of metrics. In dynamic environment, a company to be successful, it is not enough taking decisions through internal benchmarking, but also requires to look at the outer environment, and compare the performance with competitors. Benchmarking. There are 7 steps process for benchmarking. Now we talk about these steps. Number 1, set objectives and determine the areas to benchmark. Number 2, establish key performance measures. Number 3, select organizations to compare performance. Number 4, measure performance, own and others. Number 5, compare performances, and identify gaps. Number 6, design and implement improvement program. Number 7, monitor improvements. Benchmarking is the process of comparing one's business processes and performance metrics to industry bests or best practices from other industries. dimensions typically measured are quality, time, and cost. In the process of benchmarking, management identifies the best firms in their industry, or in another industry where similar processes exist, and compare the results and processes of those studied, the targets, to one's own results and processes. In this way, they learn how well the targets perform and, more importantly, the business processes that explain why these firms are successful. Benchmarking is used to measure performance using a specific indicator: cost per unit of measure, productivity per unit of measure, cycle time of X per unit of measure, or defects per unit of measure, resulting in a metric of performance that is then compared to others. Also referred to as best practice benchmarking or process benchmarking, this process is used in management and particularly strategic management, in which organizations evaluate various aspects of their processes in relation to best practice companies' processes, usually within a peer group defined for the purposes of comparison. This then allows organizations to develop plans on how to make improvements or adapt specific best practices, usually with the aim of increasing some aspect of performance. Benchmarking may be a one-off event, but is often treated as a continuous process in which organizations continually seek to improve their practices. Strategic models in performance management. In this subtopic, we are learning few models. Porter's 5 forces, BCG metrics. First, we take Porter's 5 forces. Porter's 5 forces framework is a method for analyzing competition of a business. It draws from industrial organization economics to derive 5 forces that determine the competitive intensity and, therefore, the attractiveness of an industry in terms of its profitability. Forces number 1, supplier power. An assessment of how easy it is for suppliers to drive up prices. This is driven by the number of suppliers of each essential input, uniqueness of their product or service, relative size and strength of the supplier, and cost of switching from one supplier to another. This force is also called bargaining power of suppliers. Number 2 force, buyer power. An assessment of how easy it is for buyers to drive prices down. This is driven by the number of buyers in the market, importance of each individual buyer to the organization, and cost to the buyer of switching from one supplier to another. If a business has just a few powerful buyers, they are often able to dictate terms. Number 3 force, competitive rivalry. The main driver is the number and capability of competitors in the market. Many competitors, offering undifferentiated products and services, will reduce market attractiveness. Force number 4, threat of substitution. Where close substitute products exist in a market, it increases the likelihood of customers switching to alternatives in response to price increases. This reduces both the power of suppliers and the attractiveness of the market. Force number 5, threat of new entry. Profitable markets attract new entrants, which erodes profitability. Unless incumbents have strong and durable barriers to entry, for example, patents, economies of scale, capital requirements, or government policies, then profitability will decline to a competitive rate. The next model we are learning here is BCG metrics. BCG matrix is a framework created by Boston Consulting Group to evaluate the strategic position of a business brand portfolio and its potential. It classifies business portfolio into 4 categories, based on industry attractiveness, growth rate of that industry, and competitive position, relative market share. These 2 dimensions reveal likely profitability of the business portfolio, in terms of cash needed to support that unit, and cash generated by it. The general purpose of the analysis is to help understand which brands the firm should invest in and which ones should be divested. Relative market share. One of the dimensions used to evaluate business portfolio is relative market share. Higher corporates' market share results in higher cash returns. This is because a firm that produces more, benefits from higher economies of scale and experience curve, which results in higher profits. Nonetheless, it is worth to note that some firms may experience the same benefits with lower production outputs and lower market share. Market growth rate. High market growth rate means higher earnings and sometimes profits, but it also consumes lots of cash, which is used as investment to stimulate further growth. Therefore, business units that operate in rapid growth industries are cash users and are worth investing in only when they are expected to grow or maintain market share in the future. There are 4 quadrants into which firms' brands are classified. Dogs. Dogs hold low market share compared to competitors and operate in a slowly growing market. In general, they are not worth investing in because they generate low or negative cash returns. But this is not always the truth. Some dogs may be profitable for a long period of time, they may provide synergies for other brands or SBUs, or simply act as a defense to counter competitors' moves. Therefore, it is always important to perform deeper analysis of each brand or SBU to make sure they are not worth investing in or have to be divested. Strategic choices: retrenchment, divestiture, liquidation. Cash cows. Cash cows are the most profitable brands and should be milked to provide as much cash as possible. The cash gained from cows should be invested into stars to support their further growth. According to Growth Share Matrix, corporates should not invest into cash cows to induce growth but only to support them so they can maintain their current market share. Again, this is not always the truth. Cash cows are usually large corporations or SBUs that are capable of innovating new products or processes, which may become new stars. If there would be no support for cash cows, they would not be capable of such innovations. Strategic choices: product development, diversification, divestiture, retrenchment. Stars. Stars operate in high-growth industries and maintain high market share. Stars are both cash generators and cash users. They are the primary units in which the company should invest its money, because stars are expected to become cash cows and generate positive cash flows. Yet, not all stars become cash flows. This is especially true in rapidly changing industries, where new innovative products can soon be outcompeted by new technological advancements, so a star, instead of becoming a cash cow, becomes a dog. Strategic choices: vertical integration, horizontal integration, market penetration, market development, product development. Question marks. Question marks are the brands that require much closer consideration. They hold low market share in fast-growing markets, consuming large amount of cash and incurring losses. It has potential to gain market share and become a star, which would later become cash cow. Question marks do not always succeed, and even after large amount of investments they struggle to gain market share and eventually become dogs. Therefore, they require very close consideration to decide if they are worth investing in or not. Strategic choices: market penetration, market development, product development, divestiture. Benefits of the BCG matrix. The BCG matrix is helpful for managers to evaluate balance in the company's current portfolio of stars, cash cows, question marks, and dogs. BCG matrix is applicable to large companies that seek volume and experience effects. The model is simple and easy to understand. It provides a base for management to decide and prepare for future actions. If a company is able to use the experience curve to its advantage, it should be able to manufacture and sell new products at a price that is low enough to get early market share leadership. Once it becomes a star, it is destined to be profitable. Limitations of the BCG matrix. It neglects the effects of synergies between business units. High market share is not the only success factor. Market growth is not the only indicator for attractiveness of a market. Sometimes dogs can earn even more cash as cash cows. The problems of getting data on the market share and market growth. There is no clear definition of what constitutes a market. A high market share does not necessarily lead to profitability all the time. The model uses only two dimensions, market share and growth rate. This may tempt management to emphasize a particular product, or to divest prematurely. A business with a low market share can be profitable too. The model neglects small competitors that have fast-growing market shares. Now we are moving to conflict with short-term decisions. Strategic plans are longer-term futuristic plans. But when there is a conflict with short-term decisions, it is unlikely that objectives are achievable. There are few reasons those that create conflict with short-term decisions: unrealistic plans, management style, and inadequate performance measurement. The last subtopic under strategic planning and control, we are going to learn briefly about role of management accountant. According to Burns and Scapins, the role of the management accountant has changed, and continues to do so, because of changes in technology, management structure, and competition. Thank you for following the video fully. Please write your own notes which will improve your memory and creativity. Our next topic is performance hierarchy. Stay tuned with our YouTube channel. Happy learning with Mwayne.